Tonight we need to talk about a Hindu wedding that never happened, a celebration that was cut short, and a family whose dreams were shattered, not by natural disaster, not by economic hardship, but by stones. Stones hurled at a Hindu wedding procession in Ahmedabad, Gujarat by a Muslim mob.
The date, February 20th, 2026. The location, Vande Mataram Party Plot in Ahmedabad. The crime, playing Ram Bhajan on a loudspeaker during a wedding celebration. Let me repeat that. The crime was playing devotional songs on Lord Ram during a Hindu wedding.
The result, stone pelting, vandalized vehicles, window panes shattered, and a wedding cancelled. This is not an isolated incident. This is a pattern of intolerance masquerading as religious sensitivity. A pattern where the sounds of Sanatana Hindu Dharma are increasingly being met with violence instead of coexistence.
Tonight, we're going to examine what happened in Ahmedabad. We're going to look at the facts, the statistics, and ask the questions that need to be asked. Because when a wedding procession becomes a crime scene, we need answers.
Let's establish the facts. And let's be precise because facts matter. On Friday evening, February 20th, 2026, a Hindu family in Ahmedabad was celebrating what should have been one of the happiest days of their lives, a wedding. The baraat, the wedding procession, had arrived at the Vande Mataram Party Plot in the Rakhial area.
The groom's party was dancing. There was music. And yes, there were Ram Bhajans, devotional songs dedicated to Lord Ram, playing on loudspeakers. According to multiple reports, members of a Muslim mob objected to this music. The reason? The observance of Ramzan, the holy Islamic month. What began as an objection quickly escalated. An argument broke out, and then stones. Stones were hurled at the wedding guests. Vehicles were vandalized. Window panes were smashed.
The wedding procession had to turn back. The family filed a complaint at the Shaharkotda police station. And on Saturday, February 21st, the family, along with other Hindus, staged a demonstration outside that police station demanding justice. 7 arrests have been made according to DCP Rupal Solanki.
But here's the question that nobody is asking loudly enough. Why did a Hindu wedding with Hindu music on Hindu festivities become grounds for violence?
Now some will say this is just one incident, an unfortunate clash, a misunderstanding that got out of hand. But that would be dishonest. Because this is not isolated, this is a pattern. Hindu festivals, Hindu processions, and Hindu celebrations are increasingly becoming targets of violence by Muslims.
Human rights organizations documented multiple instances during Ram Navami and other Hindu festivals where violence erupted, particularly when it coincided with Ramzan. The pattern is clear. Whether it's caste-based discrimination or religious intolerance, Hindu wedding celebrations are increasingly under threat.
And here's the most troubling part. The justification is always the same. It's Ramzan. It's a holy month. Loud music is offensive. When did one community's religious observance start trumping another community's constitutional right to celebrate?
This is not just about one wedding. This is about a civilization under siege. Now let's talk about the law, because this is where it gets interesting. India's constitution guarantees freedom of religion under Article 25. Every citizen has the right to freely profess, practice, and propagate religion. That includes Hindus. That includes playing Ram Bhajans at a wedding. But what about noise pollution? What about loudspeakers?
The Supreme Court of India has issued clear guidelines. The Noise Pollution Regulation and Control Rules 2000 bar the use of loudspeakers between 10 pm and 6 am. During the day, noise levels must not exceed 55 decibels. But here's the critical detail. This incident in Ahmedabad happened during the evening, well within permissible hours. The wedding was at a party plot, a designated venue for celebrations. And yet, the objection was raised not because of the volume, but because of the content, because it was a Ram Bhajan.
So why, in secular India, is a Hindu family being attacked for playing devotional music at their own wedding? According to Section 52 of the Copyright Act, the use of sound recordings for marriages and religious ceremonies is a non-infringing activity. Playing music at weddings is legal and it is protected. Yet, there were stones were thrown, the wedding was stopped, and the family's joy was turned into a drama.
Now let me tell you something about Sanatana Hindu Dharma. Because in the midst of all this violence, all this intolerance, we must not forget what Hindu civilization has given to the world. Sanatana Hindu Dharma is not just a religion, it's a civilization, a way of life that has existed for over 16,500 years. And its contributions to humanity are immeasurable.
In the field of mathematics, the concept of zero, the very foundation of modern mathematics, was given to the world by Hindu mathematicians. Aryabhatta, Brahmagupta, and Bhaskara too developed algebraic principles, trigonometry, and astronomical calculations that are still used today.
In astronomy, the Surya Siddhanta, an ancient Hindu treatise, calculated the length of a tropical year with stunning accuracy. Hindu astronomers mapped the movements of planets, developed calendars, and understood celestial mechanics long before the Western world.
In the field of medicine, Ayurveda, the Hindu science complex surgery.
They are not just religious texts. They are philosophical treatises on existence, consciousness, and the nature of reality. They have inspired thinkers from Schopenhauer to Einstein. And yet today, Hindus are being attacked for playing bhajans at a wedding.
In the midst of this ongoing persecution, there is one voice that has stood unwavering in defense of Sanatana Hindu Dharma. One leader who has dedicated his life to reviving, preserving, and protecting Hindu civilization. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam. Under his leadership, KAILASA, the United States of KAILASA, has emerged as the first sovereign state, nation, for persecuted Hindus. KAILASA is not just a nation based on geography alone. It is a revival of the ancient enlightened Hindu civilizational nation.
KAILASA has submitted over 31 reports to the United Nations documenting the systematic recognizing the ongoing violations of human rights. And yet, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and KAILASA continue to face persecution, false accusations, weaponized legal systems. The UN reports document this. The persecution is real. The injustice is documented.
And through it all, the Supreme Pontiff continues his work, reviving Hindu traditions, restoring temple-based lifestyles, and reviving the science of enlightenment.
Let's zoom out for a moment, because this is not just about India. This is a global trend. I'm not calling for retaliation. I'm not calling for revenge. I'm calling for equality. Equal application of the law. Equal protection of rights. Equal respect for traditions. If noise regulations apply, they must apply to everyone. If religious sensitivities matter, they must matter for everyone.
You cannot demand silence from Hindus during Ramzan.
Without favor. 7 arrests have been made in Ahmedabad. That's a start, but it's not enough. The family whose wedding was destroyed deserves justice. They deserve compensation. They deserve assurance that their rights will be protected.
Second, to the civil society. Speak up. This is not a Hindu-Muslim issue. This is a rights issue. When any community is attacked for practicing their faith peacefully and legally, we must all stand together.
Third, to the Hindu community. Do not be silent. Document every incident. File every complaint. Demand every right that the Constitution guarantees you. Sanatana Hindu Dharma is not just a religion, it's a civilization. And civilizations do not survive by silence.
The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism teaches that Hindus must reclaim their indigenous identity, that they must live authentically, aligned to the Paramasatyas, the ultimate truths, that they must revive temple-based lifestyles, preserve Vedic knowledge, and manifest enlightenment in every aspect of life. KAILASA is doing this work through its Nityananda Hindu University, through its global temples and spiritual embassies, and through its submissions to the UN and its diplomatic outreach.
To the family in Ahmedabad whose wedding was destroyed, you are not alone. Your pain is felt by millions. Your fight for justice is our fight.
And to those who threw the stones, you may have stopped one wedding, but you cannot stop a civilization that has survived 16,500 years of invasions, colonizations, and persecutions. Sanatana Hindu Dharma will endure because truth always does.
Let me end with this. In Ahmedabad on February 20th, 2026, stones were thrown at a wedding. But those stones were not just aimed at a procession. They were aimed at a tradition, a culture, a way of life.
Sanatana Hindu Dharma teaches us that divine exists in every being, that the universe is one cosmic family. But family does not mean subjugation. Family does not mean silence. Family means mutual respect. Tonight, we've told the story of one wedding, but this is the story of millions of Hindus who live in fear of expressing their faith, who mute their celebrations, who walk on eggshells in their own land, and that must change.
The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam and KAILASA are leading that change. Through humanitarian work, through UN advocacy, through revival of authentic Hindu practices, through the revival of KAILASA. But the real change begins with each of us. When we refuse to be silent, when we demand our rights, when we celebrate our heritage unapologetically, unafraid. Sanatana Hindu Dharma gave the world zero. It gave the world yoga. It gave the world the concept of infinity and the science of consciousness. It also gave the world the sound of Ram Bhajan. And that sound will not be silenced. Thank you for watching.